Hey bro, you're probably able to relate to being in a situation where your progress in certain areas plateaus, meaning it flatlines. Like you were doing great, but then your progress just stops. And no matter how hard you work, you just can't seem to progress further. For example, in academics, maybe for certain subjects, you're stuck at this certain grade range and you can't seem to push your grades out any further. Like there's this invisible metaphorical ceiling that you can't break through that stops you from improving. Maybe you face this problem in the gym. Like you made decent muscle, but you can't seem to go further. You can't seem to build more muscle as if you were already at your maximum point. Maybe you face this in trying to get rid of addictions like social media, video games, porn, whatever. You reach the point where you're able to get away from it for a week or so. You make decent progress, but then you just snap back to the addiction. I myself have faced this multiple times, especially in academics, but I want to talk about this one I faced quite recently, like a few months ago. It was the holidays, so I was on this really disciplined, productive routine, and I was really proud of myself for it. I was making really good progress actually with getting away from Reddit, shitty gaming content on YouTube, video games, and porn. But there's this weird phenomenon where once or twice every week I would just snap back to those addictions. Like I could only go 5 days maximum without them. Like somehow 5 days was like my limit. I would have a productive, disciplined day, 3 hours of deep work, 1 hour in the gym, 30 minutes cardio, reading books, meditating, all that stuff. But immediately the next day would be the most unproductive day of my life, where I would basically do nothing for the whole day except for my addictions. So my progress of getting rid of my addictions basically flatlined. I'm telling you this story because I've completely overcome those plateaus actually, which is why I got straight A's and why I have never touched video games, unproductive social media, or myself for like a month now. I still use like social media, but I only watch like unedited podcasts of some scientists or millionaire just talking to the camera about health or success. No like flashy or stimulating edits or anything. So, if you want to know the secret to getting rid of this invisible ceiling that is limiting your progress, to break this ceiling, start making progress, getting higher grades, etc., then keep watching. The thing you need to break this invisible ceiling, to break your plateaus, is to look inwards. The first thing that most people do when they reach this point where they are not progressing, or maybe they're even going down, is they try to find fault in what they are doing. They look at what they do and try to spot problems with that. For example, when you don't get the grades you want, you probably try to find out what's wrong with the way you study, right? Or if you're a bodybuilder, you try to improve your workout routine or your form or whatever, right? And some students will go onto the internet, learn about these science-based study techniques and study tools and start using those. And this is actually quite an intelligent way to go about it. If you're doing this, don't stop doing it. But what most people don't realize is that you'll only be doing the wrong things if your beliefs, mindsets, and attitudes towards that thing you are trying to get better at are also wrong. A lot of successful people keep preaching about beliefs, mindsets, principles, and how they are very important for success. And people don't like to hear that because beliefs, mindsets, principles, these terms sound so vague, right? No one actually knows what they mean. People like to hear strategies, like a definitive plan of action that they can implement today or tomorrow. But that would only bring them the kind of short-term progress I talked about. They would face the plateau, the flat line soon enough. But if they had just learned the right beliefs and mindsets, they would literally be able to come up with the strategies themselves and make insane long-term progress. A lot of success comes from becoming the person who can achieve that success. getting straight A's isn't just about getting straight A's, it's about becoming the person who can get straight A's. Becoming a millionaire isn't just about making $1 million, it's about becoming the person who can make $1 million. And a significant part of this is to have the same beliefs and mindsets as the people who have the success that you want. The best way to learn these beliefs is through educating yourself about the world in general through books and unedited podcasts. For books, I recommend How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Amazing book. Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson. You can start with those two. The Magic of Thinking Big is also a good one, I think. There's also podcasts like Modern Wisdom and Diary of a CEO, which are quite nice. But for now, I'm gonna go through some important beliefs and mindsets to have for academics specifically, which are very applicable actually to other areas as well. Number 1, mental and physical health should be one of, if not the top priority of your life. This goes especially to the students who sleep less than 7 hours a day. I want you to start sleeping 8 to 9 hours a day. And this means setting aside 9 to 10 hours of sleep per day. Meaning you go to sleep at like 8 to 9 p.m. if you were to wake up at 6 a.m. Literally, like, sacrifice the study time for this. I cannot overstate how important sleep was for me to get my straight A's. And also, your diet. Try to eat less carbohydrates, less rice, less pasta, less bread. Okay, I'm not gonna list every single carbohydrate that exists on the planet. Have more meat and like slightly decrease the ratio of rice to meat in your meals. You won't believe how much carbohydrates negatively impact your focus, productivity, and general health. If you literally just did these two things, improve your sleep and eat less carbs, you would completely annihilate the invisible ceilings, and your progress in your grades or whatever will be insane. So start sacrificing things for your health, like your study time, your addictions. Until you make decent progress in your health, health should be your number 1 priority. Your actionable step is to do just that. Prioritize your health. Whenever you find yourself making a decision in your daily life, like should I eat this or that for lunch? Should I study an extra hour or should I prepare to go to sleep now? Always choose the option that will contribute more to your health. Keep doing this until your health is actually quite decent. Then you can maybe choose to prioritize other things over your health. Number 2, the 80-20 rule. Basically, this means that only 20% of the things you do will get you 80% of your results. The remaining 80% of the things you do, your effort, only accounts for 20% of your results. Let me explain. When you start to pursue a certain area, like let's say academics, there's like 100 different things that you can do to improve your grades. You can study the textbook, you can memorize the notes, you can read, model essays, spam practice papers, learn random vocabulary words, improve your health, use the Pomodoro technique or whatever, etc. etc. But out of these hundreds of things, only 2 or 3 of them will get you the straight A's. It's these 2 or 3 things that will skyrocket your grades, while the hundreds of other things, which will take up significant portions of your time if you do them, will only help you improve by like 1 mark, if you're lucky. And this also goes for other areas like bodybuilding, like YouTube. For example, when I first got onto YouTube, motherfuckers on the internet were telling me, oh, you have to improve your titles, your thumbnails, you have to optimize video SEO, you need to use this editing hack to boost retention, you can reply to comments, you can spam your video links in the comments of other videos. They call this comment maxing or something. But all the expert YouTubers will say, just generate quality video ideas, then sit down and record those videos. And so I'll tell you that the 80-20 of academics, the 2 to 3 things that will get you most of the results is sleep well, spam practice papers, and always ask questions in class. No matter how stupid you think they are, be that one annoying guy who asks questions literally once every 5 minutes. Try to avoid spending long hours just reading through notes or textbooks, trying to memorize it. Do more and read less. And these three things cover like so many bases and so many problems that most students have, that honestly I feel like you shouldn't need to do anything else other than these three things to get straight A's. So your actionable step: work to improve your sleep. There's a really good podcast about sleep. I'll link it down below. During the holidays, spend at least 1 hour a day just doing practice papers. At first, you can do them with no time limit, open book. I don't care if you literally take a whole week to finish one paper at first. You'll slowly get better. Don't be afraid to ask questions in class. Be afraid of having unanswered questions, because that question you didn't ask might just cost you several marks in the next exam. Number 3. Success is exponential. Seriously. The graph of success against effort looks something like this. The x-axis being amount of effort and the y-axis being amount of success. It is not linear. In fact, nothing in life is linear. That's also another success mindset. So basically what this means is that at first, when you work hard, you'll seemingly make zero progress. But as you continue to work hard, you start to see more and more progress, but still not that much progress. But if you continue to work hard, there'll be a point where your progress literally spikes all the way up. Okay, so here's an example. Let's say you get a C6 on a chemistry exam. So your standard for chemistry is a C6. And you start working hard. You start doing the right things. What do you think you will get in the next chemistry test? You might think you'll get a B or at least a C5. No. You get another C6. And this is even if you are doing the right things and putting in the right amount of effort. Let's say you don't get demotivated. You keep doing the right things, working hard on your academics. The next test, you'll probably still only get a C5. Okay, I mean, at least you're seeing some progress. And you continue to work hard. The next test, you will suddenly jump to a B3. And you continue what you're doing, and the test after that, you get an A1. That's how progress looks like, because progress is exponential. There isn't really an actionable step for this part. Just be more patient when it comes to seeing results. And don't set your expectations high for the short term, but do set them very high for the long term. And of course, if you want to start slowly building up some very helpful beliefs and mindsets, you can start with the books I mentioned above. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson, and The Magic of Thinking Big by, I think it's David J. Schwartz or something. I'll link PDFs of those books in the description below. Your actionable step is to just read like 2 pages a day, and you can slowly progress from there. Please give me any criticism in the comments. Criticize me as much as you can so that I can improve. And I wish you a good day.